Hooray for Hollywood. Stella! Hey, Stella! Oh, hello there. I am Stan the Movie Man, and this is my review of Birth of the Dragon. It stars Philip Ng, Xiao Yu, Billy Magnuson, Terry Chen, and more. It is the alleged story of a fight between Bruce Lee and a Shaolin master of Kung Fu. The story goes that the Shaolin masters did not like Bruce Lee teaching Kung Fu to Westerners. They believed it was a cultural creation of China and it should stay in China. Well, Bruce Lee, played by Philip Ng, is in his studio in San Francisco teaching people of all races Kung Fu. One of his students is a guy named Steve McKee, played by Billy Magnuson. And they have this sort of father-son relationship, kind of, even though I think Bruce Lee, at least in the movie, is younger than Steve. However, this Shaolin master from China, Wong Jack Man, played by Xiao Yu, comes to San Francisco. When Bruce Lee hears of this, he believes this is a challenge to him because he is teaching Kung Fu to Westerners. Now, Wong Jack Man is actually in San Francisco on a pilgrimage to return balance to his soul after he injures a Tai Chi master during an exhibition between the Tai Chi group and the Shaolin monks. But Bruce Lee, being full of himself, thinks that Wong Jack Man is in San Francisco to challenge him. There is also a subplot involving the Chinese mob with Auntie Blossom, played by Jin Zing, being sort of in charge of this restaurant, which is actually a front for the Chinese mob. She has a group of girls that have been brought over from China that allegedly they were promised that they would be brought over and in exchange for some labor they would be allowed to go free in America. However, that part of the deal has been left out. They are essentially slaves, and Steve meets Zhulan Quan, played by Jing Q, and they become involved. And there's this whole thing going on. These two stories are wrapped around each other. They eventually become intertwined later in the movie. This movie is more of a cartoon movie than anything DC or Marvel puts out, and I don't mean that in a good way. The plot, the story, the action scenes, they are all very cartoonish. People do things that are thoroughly impossible, or at the very least unlikely in the real world, and even a movie about Shaolin masters and Kung Fu fights should have a basis in reality. What this movie doesn't have is a basis in reality. The fights are entertaining, they are well choreographed, and they are really more dance than fights the majority of the time. And there is a fight late in the film that is supposed to be real life, or at least within the reality of the movie, that is just so utterly ridiculous that it makes it impossible to believe that anything like that could have ever happened in real life. Now, this alleged battle between Bruce Lee and Wong Jack Man is supposed to have actually happened, although there are varying accounts of who won or if it happened at all. but it is the main focus of the film. And there is, that gets kind of reduced in value with some very bad wire work. There's some jumps and some movements that are obviously done with wires, and it's obviously done with wires. It's Bruce Lee deserves better than Birth of the Dragon, and that is why I am giving that film 1 star. Go to StanTheMovieMan.com to read my complete review. Listen to my podcast, The Fractured Frame. It drops every Monday on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Podcast One, and anywhere you get your podcasts. You can follow me on Twitter at MovieManStan, and you can send emails to me, StanTheMovieMan123 at gmail.com. Till next time, later.